Hello and welcome. You're watching News 9 Live. I'm Atishay Jain, and alongside me, I have News 9 cricket data analyst Nikhil Narayan. So, India has bowed out of the T20 World Cup with another crushing win as they defeat Namibia by 9 wickets in Abu Dhabi. But sadly speaking, this win would do no change into the possibilities of what is going to happen in semi-finals. Sadly for all the Indian cricket fans, Team India has now been eliminated. They were rather eliminated yesterday when New Zealand defeated Afghanistan by 8 wickets. But the good part for Team India would be, Nikhil, that they have gone out of the tournament on the back of 3 wins. First, they defeated Afghanistan by 66 runs. Then they crushed Scotland by 8 wickets, and now they have finished the remaining whatever was left to do in this T20 World Cup by defeating Namibia by 9 wickets. But the trouble, it all started in the was just given how they performed against Pakistan and how poorly they performed against New Zealand. It was all done and dusted for India then and there. So now looking back at things, we'll talk about this game obviously, but the bigger picture here is that India is no longer part of the semi-finals. So now looking back at things, do you think if we would have played Namibia, Scotland and Afghanistan before playing New Zealand and Pakistan, it would have made a difference to India's cause?
Absolutely, Atisha. That is a question a lot of people are asking now, that shouldn't India have played at least one of the minnows earlier instead of playing the 2 big wigs in their group straight away, especially after the IPL and the bio bubble India has been in since May. I think personally it would have made a difference. India would have been 3-0 up, and then they would have faced New Zealand and Pakistan. But in hindsight, cricket is not played in hindsight. India were not good enough against Pakistan and New Zealand. Toss, no toss, IPL fatigue or no, and they did not deserve to be in the semi-finals. It's as clear as that.
Well, definitely India just didn't deserve to be in the semi-final because New Zealand and Pakistan were clinical in their approach, and India were just not the team one would have expected them to be. Now talking about what happened in today's game, Virat Kohli in his last game as T20I captain of Team India won the toss and elected to bowl first. Indian bowlers were bowled well in patches but were also a bit expensive in the middle overs as they leaked 132 runs. R. Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja bagged 3 wickets each and Bumrah bagged 2. While chasing, it was once again Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul show as they registered yet another 50-run partnership, and it was Rohit Sharma who reached his half-century first as he departed for 56 runs of 37 balls, and KL Rahul was there till the end as he scored 54 unbeaten in 36 balls. So Nikhil, overall it was a very good day for Rohit Sharma individually as he became the Indian outfielder with most number of catches in T20Is. Now he has 44 catches, and also now he becomes the Indian opener with most 50 plus scores in ICC tournament. So we all know that Rohit Sharma can do this, but again it has just come towards the later half of the tournament.
Yeah, I mean Rohit Sharma won't be bothered about these stats. He is one of the greatest limited overs batsmen of all time, not only this generation. And he has had a difficult year in international T20 cricket, not done much. A difficult year for Mumbai Indians. They also didn't make the playoffs this season. So a good, last couple of matches for Rohit. I think he'll get a break in the New Zealand series and then come out all guns blazing for the test matches.
Well, definitely. Now also let's talk about KL Rahul, who struck a magnificent half-century in the last game, 18-ball half-century, and today also he has smashed 54 runs of just 36 balls. Now looking forward, there are being rumours that KL Rahul is going to lead the T20 side against New Zealand, but now that he is in... But not just in this tournament, even going into the tournament, KL Rahul was always one of those Indian batsmen who was in terrific form because he has scored so much runs in IPL cricket over the past 3 years. And now again, well, he is still 28 or 27 years old, a bright future ahead of him. So how do you think if the responsibility is given to KL Rahul to lead Team India in the upcoming series, you think is he up to the task? And also batting wise, how good he has been over the last couple of years?
He has been one of the greatest batsmen in T20 cricket overall from 2018. He's been the highest scorer in the IPL since 2018. He's been a run machine. KL Rahul is absolutely brilliant at the top of the order. He plays the role of the anchor, but he is at his best when he plays the role of aggressor, as he's shown in the last couple of matches. Unfortunately for India, this did not come against Pakistan and New Zealand where he failed. But still, I mean, it's a guess if it happens. Rohit Sharma, in all likelihood, is the future India captain. And I think KL Rahul can be his deputy going forward, at least in the limited over formats.
Well, definitely we have seen KL Rahul marshal his troops very well while playing for Punjab Kings. So he is one of those options for India to explore as a future captain in the T20 cricket and also in limited overs cricket, 50 overs as well. Now also talking about our Ashwin, one question which continues to bug me is, would Ashwin's inclusion in the playing 11 for the first two games against Pakistan and New Zealand, would that have made a difference?
In hindsight, we can say yes, but we've said this before also. Ashwin should have played against Pakistan and New Zealand both. Ashwin is a world-class spinner. He's India's best spinner. Forget the format. He is India's best spinner. He has the experience. He also has a very good T20I record before he was dropped after the Champions Trophy final. Ashwin is a class bowler. Ashwin has done well for the Delhi Capitals. Last season, he took them to the final. Ashwin should have played those two matches. But India would have won or not, I can't say. But Ashwin would have made a difference in those matches.
Well, definitely experience can do wonders in tournaments like this. Now, Nikhil, before we wrap up, before we bring our India coverage, obviously we'll continue to build up to the semi-finals. Now, looking back at how this tournament has panned out solely from the perspective of Team India, do you think there is even a slightest of positives now that India is out of the tournament?
Well, I mean, the way Rahul and Rohit batted in the last three matches shows that they're still amongst the runs, but there was no doubt about that. Ashwin's bowling, and again, against Scotland, Afghanistan and Namibia was excellent. So I think those are the positives for India, Ashwin and the opening partnership of Rohit and Rahul. Apart from that, losing to Pakistan and New Zealand and not making the semi-finals for the first time in an ICC event since 2012 will remain a blemish and a hard one to swallow for a long time.
Well, definitely it is disappointing to see this Indian team not being part of the ICC tournament semi-final, and as Nikhil mentioned, this is going to happen for the first time since 2012. Now, Nikhil, let's talk a bit about Virat Kohli. This was his last game as Team India's T20I captain. He has been magnificent. India's record under him in T20 cricket has been stupendous, but that elusive ICC trophy is still missing from Virat Kohli's cabinet. We all hoped and prayed that this Team India in this T20 World Cup would go all the way and will deliver that trophy, but it didn't happen. So now looking back at Virat Kohli's T20I career as a captain, how do you assess that?
One of the most glorious, tenures as captain in T20 cricket history, I would say. He has the fourth best win-loss ratio. India has only lost one major bilateral series under the captaincy of Virat Kohli, which was against Australia at home in 2019. Imagine 15 series and they won 11, 3 have been drawn and only one loss. It's one of the most brilliant records for any captain in T20I cricket history. They've beaten New Zealand 5-0 in New Zealand, they've beaten South Africa in South Africa, Australia in Australia, England in England. So they've swept Sena, which no captain has done before. So it's a brilliant legacy, but he hasn't won the any ICC trophy. This was his first and ironically last chance to win the T20 World Cup as captain, but he failed to do so. India did not even make the knockouts, and this will remain a major blot in an otherwise glorious chapter for Virat Kohli, the T20 captain.
Well, definitely Kohli's record as T20I captain is staggering. It's exceptional, not just as a batter but also as a T20I captain, even though he doesn't have an ICC T20I trophy to show for it. Not just Virat Kohli, Nikhil, it's an end of an era for Team India. Virat Kohli will no more captain T20I team, Indian cricket team, and also this is an end of an era for Ravi Shastri as he also walks away from the Indian team management. So how do you see this Virat Kohli and Ravi Shastri era over the last 4-5 years?
They complemented each other brilliantly, Atishay. Someone like Kohli needs someone like Shastri, to prosper. Shastri is a great man manager, whatever people might say. He knows what he is doing. He doesn't interfere much. He is a motivator. He's always been that. And that's what he did in the dressing room. He complemented Virat Kohli's captaincy brilliantly. Kohli does not get along with personalities like, Kumble, etc., which you all know what happened there. But Kohli gets with personalities like Ravi Shastri. And the combination of Kohli, the captain, and Shastri, the coach, is one of the most successful in international cricket history for any team in the world. Yes, they haven't won an ICC trophy, but they took India to the CT final in 2017, World Cup 2019 semis, 2021 WTC final. This was their major blemish, that they couldn't take India even to the knockouts of the T20 World Cup. But the bilateral series wins, which we just mentioned, ODI series win in South Africa, also 2 successive wins in Australia, in which, Kohli was captain in one of them, the other one was Rahane, but still it was Virat Kohli's team and Shastri was the coach. So, it's been a brilliant and great run for Shastri and Kohli together.
Well, definitely over the last 4-5 years, Kohli and Shastri together have given memorable moments for Indian fans to cheer about. And now that India is out of the tournament, that by no means means that our coverage of the ongoing T20 World Cup ends here. We have 2 important semi-final games to look forward to, and what promises to be an entertaining final which will take place on the upcoming Sunday. Until then, take care. Good night.